heavy hitter suckers.
Yarmel Williams, aka 051 Melly, aka the Gravedigger. Today we will examine the alleged crimes of 051 Melly and take an introspective look as to whether or not 051 Melly was just a street guy handling street business in the street with other street people, or if his penchant for murder, alleged murder, led to him being an undiagnosed sociopath. Yarmel Devontae Jameer Williams was born on November 19th, 1991, to his mother Angie and to his father Ymir. Yarmel grew up in the Met Building, officially known as Randolph Towers, at 6217 South Calumet, which was Black Disciple headquarters. That building eventually got torn down. Later, Yarmel moved to 59th and Calumet, which is another building in that neighborhood ran by the 600 set of BDs. Melly attended DuSable High School. That is how he became affiliated with the Mickey Cobras, or the MCs, from 50th to 51st, from King Drive to Cottage Grove. He would soon start repping 051 Young Money after the death of Zico. He never flipped to Mickey Cobra, even though most of Young Money's ops were BD. It is alleged that Yarmel was a renegade BD. Through family ties, Melly was pretty much welcome in several different sets through several different gangs. He had connections with the Malltown GDs through his father. Because of his uncle No Limit G Slim, he was respected by No Limit. Melly was pretty much plugged throughout the whole city. On February 2nd, 2012, at around 10 p.m. in the 5900 block of South Calumet Avenue in Washington Park, Melly was living in this area at the time and allegedly pulled up with someone else to an alley where he found Shaq, who was allegedly relieving himself. Shaq, better known as Shaquille L. Rush, was shot multiple times and was DOA when the cops arrived. A 16-year-old girl who was near him was also grazed by a bullet. This was allegedly retaliation for the murder of T Streets, who was allegedly killed by M Thing from O Block, which is a 600 BD set. May 31st, 2014, around 3:20 p.m. in the 700 block of East 87th Street in the Chatham neighborhood, Little Dirk's cousin, Newski, had been disrespecting dead ops and had an ongoing beef with Crump. This allegedly all gave Melly more than enough reason to murder him. It is alleged that he was set up by his girlfriend as he was sitting in an SUV when allegedly Melly approached with a mask on and shot him multiple times. After the hit, he drove off and crashed into a window. March 27, 2015, at approximately 1:50 a.m. on the 8400 block of South Stony and Avalon Park, Little Dirk's 24-year-old manager, known as OTF Chino Dollar, was fatally shot. Chino was spotted by someone who allegedly knew Young Money members, and they got the drop on him. Allegedly, Melly pulled up as Chino was sitting in the car and shot him multiple times. This was allegedly retaliation for the bus stop music video from THF, TP, and the murder of Young Money's Little Mark. Allegedly, Melly and Arrow were both shot in the head. Melly was also shot in the foot, and unless I'm pronouncing this wrong, another guy by the name of Arrow was also shot in the shoulder. by Raheem Damaron, aka THF Raheem, who's also the stepson of THF Bezu. May 24th, 2015, at approximately 8:15 p.m. in the 4400 block of South Cottage Grove Avenue in the Bronzeville neighborhood, Melly and Arrow went out for full revenge and spotted a group of boys. Allegedly, Melly shot Raheem and another boy who ran in the alley. Raheem died from a gunshot wound in his back. On November 27th, 2016, at approximately 2 p.m. in the 8800 block of South Marshfield Avenue in the Auburn Gresham neighborhood, only a few hours after Bankroll Q got killed, allegedly by Motown, Melly took the murder of Bankroll very personally because he was close friends with him. Allegedly, Melly pulled up in an SUV next to a parked car where Delvon Weston, aka Little Dale, was in and shot him multiple times in the chest. Little Dale managed to drive himself to the hospital, yet he still succumbed to his injuries. On November 30th of 2016, at about 8:05 p.m. in the 6800 block of South Cornell in the South Shore neighborhood, police found Trayvon M. Dixon in the gangway with gunshot wounds to the head and the abdomen. He was dead at the scene. Trayvon was allegedly a member of THF who also claimed Marvin World. He also used to live only a few houses away from Melly. It is alleged that he was either followed home or seen by Melly, who has very strong ties in Malltown. Allegedly, he was chased and killed in the gangway by Melly and TTB Nez. August 19, 2018, at approximately 3:27 p.m. in the 4000 block of South Calumet Avenue in the Bronzeville neighborhood, a man by the name of Tyrone Marshall was fatally shot as he was leaning against a parked vehicle and talking to a friend when another vehicle pulled up and someone, allegedly Melly, fired shots. T.Y. was shot in the head. It is said that T.Y. was there when Bankroll was killed. In the ongoing battle between Melly and Little Dirk, it is alleged that Little Dirk put money on Melly's head. When Melly found out about this, allegedly, Melly wanted to kill D-Thang, which is Little Dirk's brother. October 8th, 2018, at approximately 2:48 a.m. in the 600 block of East 115th Street in the Pullman neighborhood. He succeeded in shooting D-Thang and killing OTF Dilla, also known as Baby D. Now, up until this point, every murder that I just told you about could simply be viewed as street dudes doing street things, and eventually the streets caught up with them. Now let's talk about Lord Dre. Allegedly, Melly and Lord Dre were childhood friends. Now I couldn't find any proof of that, but I did find proof that they were at least cordial.
This nigga just a smiling and shit. Lord back here with the dumbest, freakiest motherfuckers. Work on this thing. Y'all on the laugh. You gonna laugh, watch it. Get back.
It is alleged that Melly tricked Lord Dre into thinking that they were about to go on a move, lured him in the alley, and killed him. And the reason is, allegedly, it was a bounty placed on Lord Dre's head, and Melly needed to cash in on that bounty so he could get Wu, his brother, out of jail. The official police paperwork does implicate Melly in the murder of Lord Dre. It is also alleged in this official police paperwork that in some exchange between Melly and Lord Dre's mom, she allegedly accused him of hurting her son and Melly allegedly threatened her. Now, the thing about official police paperwork is two things. What's in the paperwork doesn't necessarily have to be 100% true. One, that is what was reported to the police, so that is what they wrote down. And the second thing is whatever is in that police report is what the police believe. It is alleged that Melly was brought in, questioned, and at some point charged with the murder of Lord Dre, but the police couldn't make the charges stick. Melly's name shows up in official police paperwork connected to at least one other murder. I think that if they absolutely wanted to hold him or charge him or sit him down for any amount of time, they absolutely could have done that. But they didn't. And why do you think that is? Why do you think that after King Von died, they pulled out official police paperwork showing that King Von killed K.I.? Now, what would be the reason in doing that? K.I. is dead, King Von is dead. But you know who isn't dead? The people in K.I.'s gang. They're still alive. The people in King Von's gang, they're also still alive. So the only reason that I can see that the Chicago police would not at least try to sit Melly down for a little while is because they wanted the streets to handle him. As of the making of this video, it has been speculated that Melly had some involvement with the murder of Motor and Side. Now, the reason that that would be so alarming is Melly and Motor were allegedly friends, but Melly and Lord Dre was allegedly cool. There is speculation that there will soon be forthcoming paperwork that alleges that Melly was the killer of Motor and Side. It has also been speculated that Melly would never do that to Motor and that another young lady who was known for allegedly setting people up was the person who set up Motor and Side, and that Melly is the one that took that young lady out, allegedly. If everything that I just told you about this young man is true, you have to ask yourself, how does one end up this way? Either a person made a decision to be this way, or a person was influenced. If a person makes a conscious decision all on their own to recklessly end lives, then some may call that person pure evil. Others might just claim that that individual was lost. But if a person were influenced, then those influences would certainly share in the responsibility of that person's actions, whether those actions be good or bad. A sociopath, or someone who suffers from antisocial personality disorder, ASPD. Some common traits of this disorder include manipulation, deceit, being impulsive, and a general disregard for personal safety and the safety of others. Some key characteristics are a disregard for others. Sociopaths have a lack of concern for the effects of their behavior on others. They also have superficial charm. They can be very charming and manipulative to get what they want, often through lies or flattery. Sociopaths also have a lack of empathy and remorse. They are often unable to feel remorse or guilt for their actions and may even seem indifferent to the pain that they cause others. Sociopaths may act on an impulse and have difficulty learning from past experiences. Sociopaths may have an exaggerated sense of self-importance and a belief that only special people can understand them. They also tend to have a sense of invincibility. And perhaps it was this sense of invincibility that eventually got Melly taken out. On September 1st, 2019, Melly went to a house party in the 6100 block of South St. Lawrence Avenue, which is Jarrow City territory. This is where Melly had his final encounter. Allegedly, this is where Nate 007 allegedly killed Melly. Some say that the two had a personal beef. Others say that it was a beef between Paxtown and East End, with Melly being from East End and Nate being from Paxtown. Allegedly, Melly shot up Nate's house that had Nate's baby mother and child inside of the house. Whatever the reason, it is speculated by people and the Chicago police that Nate is the one responsible for Melly's death. According to official Chicago Police Department paperwork, Nate was caught 2 days later with the gun that killed Melly. But for some reason, he was never charged with Melly's murder, or if he was charged, he never did jail time for it. Melly suffered numerous gunshot wounds to the body and was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. This is a vicious cycle of people hurting other people, not being held accountable, and the streets eventually handling the situation. It has to be terribly traumatic to live so close to people that want you dead. It has to be traumatic to consistently lose close friends and loved ones. It has to be traumatic to lose a parent. Yet, even if trauma could explain it, it could not ever excuse it. See, something happened between this day and this day. A decision was made. And all I'm saying is that as a community, we have got to come together and provide more resources for our youth so that this or this is not their only options.